Hello, I'm Michael Seitz, Brand Manager for Touch and Seal Foams manufactured by Convenience Products. I'm here today with Al Baldwin, owner of this 20-acre farm in Washington, Missouri. The farm is located in the rolling foothills of the Ozarks, and the crowning glory of this farm is a two-story 1866 stone farmhouse. The farmhouse has over 20 windows, full basement, full attic, 2 floors, and a large addition that includes a kitchen. As you can imagine, a house this old has plenty of potential for air leaks and energy inefficiencies. Al, can you tell us a little bit about it?
We have high energy cost. Peak time during the summers is $300 a month. Same in the winter, peak time heating cost is $300 a month. Added to that, the electric bill, it's another $125 on average. It's a drafty old home, and I'm looking for ways to improve the energy efficiency of the home.
Al, I brought along this chart that shows many of the typical areas where energy is lost in a house, through doors, through cracks in walls and windows, and even in switch plates on the outside walls.
That's great, Mike. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, and if you'd like to get started, I'd like to show you around the home.
Great. Let's take a look. Okay, Al, let me show you a couple of typical areas in almost every house that has some air leaks and therefore some energy loss.
Okay.
This is called the sill plate up here. Every house has got a sill plate in it, and this is one of the most common areas of air leakage in a house. And what I'm going to use is this tool is called a puffer, and it emits a little bit of smoke, and I'll emit it by the suspected area of air leak right here. And as you can see, the smoke is blowing away from the sill plate, which means you have some air infiltration from the outside into the house. So cold air is coming into the house that you have to condition.
Wow.
Let's go look at some other areas around the house and find some other areas we can help.
Very good.
Al, here are some more areas that we should be looking at for air leaks. Anytime you have a floor penetration, there's an opportunity for air leaks, and the puffer definitely shows air movement, sucking the air up. Again, we have a chimney effect, air coming from the basement up this pipe stack. We'll have to seal that up too. Al, I know we thought there weren't any leaks in this area because the basement's under grade, but I want to check it with the puffer anyway. Look at that.
Wow.
We're going to have to seal that up today too.
Very good. Let's do it.
Al, you have a number of windows in this basement. Let's see, using the puffer, how we stand the air leak test.
Look at that. Wow.
Well, we're definitely going to have to seal all the way around this with foam.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go upstairs and see what else we can find.
Michael, this is a remodeling project I'm into, and I'm glad I got in touch with you when I did. Rather than just do plain bat insulation, I wanted to hook up with you to see which is the best options for me. And you're the expert, so I'll let you take it from there and tell me which is the best way for me to go.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity right here. I see at least a couple of areas that we need to deal with now. You can see the cracks between the window frame, all the way around the window frame. We need to seal that to stop any air leaks.
Michael, my concern is, before you get started, is this going to have an effect on my finish? Am I going to be able to stud up to this with your finish on there?
No, don't expect any problems at all. We're going to be using a no warp foam that will not put any pressure on your window frame here. And if there's a little bit too much applied, it can easily be trimmed off with a knife. So your finish work should be just fine. And then you've got the wall stripped down all the way to the plaster that's on the rock wall, so the exterior of the house. And my hand's pretty cold right now on here, so I know you're getting a lot of that cold into this room. There's really a couple of ways we can address this. We can do what they call a full cavity fill, where we'll put in about 2.5 or 3 inches of spray foam, and that'll give you real good insulation and real good sound control. The other method is what we call flash and bat, and that's where you put about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of foam down, and then put your traditional fiberglass insulation over the top of it.
Okay, the bat insulation.
The bat insulation, that's right.
So it sounds to me like it's probably more cost effective to do the bat insulation, but it may not be the most energy efficient way of doing it.
Well, there's a couple of trade-offs between the two. The flash and bat is faster, it's a little more economical. The full cavity fill will give you a little more insulation value and a little more sound proofing. But they're both good methods. What I'd recommend we do is on the north wall of the house, let's go ahead and do a full cavity fill. We'll show you what that looks like. And in the rest of the room, we'll do a flash and bat, and you'll see what that looks like. And I guess at this point, we can go ahead and do it.
Very good. Let's get started. Michael, what's the application process we're going to use here?
We're going to use Touch and Seal No Warp Foam, and I'm going to use a gun foam applicator tool, and I've attached a tip extension so we can get down into the very narrow areas around the window frame. We're going to seal all the way 4 sides of the window frame with this.
And this non-warp product, what does that do? It won't seal the window off, will it?
No, it won't glue the window in place, but it will seal all the air leaks around the window.
Very good.
And we're just going to apply a thin bead all the way around to air seal it. In this floor penetration, we're going to use Gun Foam 2, which is a fire penetration approved foam sealant. Okay, Al, we're going to fill this air leak here with the fire block penetration sealant that we used before, the Gun Foam 2. Okay. We're going to seal between this termite barrier and the concrete foundation wall, and again I'm using a fire block penetration sealant, Gun Foam 2. And I put the tip extension on because it allows me to get into the very narrow cracks between the foundation wall and the termite barrier. Al, remember when we were using the smoke puffer in this area? You could see the air leak coming in.
Yeah.
We're going to use some 2-component spray foam insulation to provide a permanent air seal in this area and to insulate it.
Very good. Let's get started.
Great.
Okay.
Al, here's another place we need to look at for air leakage in your house. Anytime you have a switch plate or a duplex plug on the exterior wall, there's a good chance that we're going to have air leakage. Let's take the switch plate off, use the puffer, see how much air is leaking, and then we'll insulate around all the electrical connections in here.
Very good. Let's do it.
All right, we'll remove the plate. Here's the puffer. Well, this box is sealed pretty well, but there's still a little bit of air leakage coming through here. I would suspect when it's windy, you're going to have a lot more. So why don't we go ahead and seal it and make it as airtight as we possibly can. We put a little bit too much foam in a couple of spots, but in about a half an hour, you'll be able to trim that off with a knife and everything will be just fine. Al, we're going to go ahead and use the no warp foam, just like we did in the basement around these windows. What I'm doing now is I'm applying a very thin coat of about 1/4 inch of foam to the surface of this cold stone wall. And the reason for that is because the foam is going to cure much better and rise more completely if it has a little bit of foam insulating it from the extreme cold of that existing wall. So we'll end up with the best result. Now that I'm done with the first layer coat, I'm going to put another 1/4 inch thin coat of foam on, which will actually be our insulating coat on the walls. We'll allow that to cure, and then we'll put on our fiberglass batting, and we'll be all set. And that is Flash and Bat. Now, especially in renovation, you may find spots that you've missed. It's perfectly okay to go back and spray foam on any voids that you've left. Okay, we've got about a 1/2 inch of foam all the way across from this, which has given us a really good thermal break and air sealing. So now we're going to put up our R13 batting, staple it in place, and we'll finish this on the wall, and we'll be all set. On the north wall, we're going to do a full cavity fill. Now, the weather is very cold outside right now. It's about 20 degrees. So taking that into account and the fact that the stone wall is very, very cold, we're first going to put a single thin layer of foam on the interior side between the studs. And then, once that first 1/4 inch has risen completely, we're completely filling the cavity. We have expansion beyond the level of the studs, and so we're going to take a saw and we're going to trim it off so that the vapor barrier can be placed directly over the foam.
Michael, I appreciate you coming out today and doing your application. I'm almost looking forward to my next utility bill.
Well, Al, thanks a lot for allowing us into your home, and we look forward to seeing your bill too. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions about touch and seal foam products from Convenience Products, please call our customer service at 1-800-325-6180.